Hey guys, now if you're not interested in the process of making soap, you may not want to watch this video because it's probably going to be kind of long. But I've had several of y'all ask me when you come and see me at the farmer's market or at my booth, so how do you make soap? So it's kind of one of those questions I try and simplify when I'm answering it, but it's really not a straightforward and simple answer. So if any of you guys are interested in how the process goes, you can watch this video, and I'm going to try and make it as quickly as possible. But the fact of the matter is, making soap is a process, just like cooking. Think of it like you're cooking something from scratch. You have to measure, which is what I'm doing now. Measuring out all my oils, and I do use all food grade oils in my soap. And today it has been requested that I bring back my Dead Sea Mud soap, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it with Dead Sea Mud, and I'm doing it in my salt soap recipe, which a lot of you guys like. And that one cooks a little faster. I do it hot process, because when you make soap you can do it cold process or hot process. And really the main difference is you're cooking the soap versus you're just making the soap in a batter and letting it saponify over like a 24 to 48 hour period, and then that soap has to rest for 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks until it hardens. And with hot processed soap, it's basically ready the day you make it, but it too needs to sit for, until it's nice and hard. But the benefit with salt soap is it gets really hard really fast. And like, as you can see, I was measuring out some coconut oil, and it is a food grade, and I need a little more. So I do formulate all my recipes myself. Spent many days testing and trying, many weeks, many months, many years actually. It's got the, that I can't get off. So hold on. And the Dead Sea Mud in the soap actually gives it a little bit of like a grit, a little exfoliating, but not so much where it's scratchy. Homemade soaps just make really good gifts because they are functional, but it's also a little bit of a luxury item. So you can give it to somebody as just a stocking stuffer gift, or get a whole gift set and make it like their whole gift, or a hostess gift makes really nice, like at Thanksgiving. Because sometimes people don't really expect anything or don't want anything, but it's nice if you can give them just a little something that they can use. Put that in the crock pot. Okay. Again, food grade. But if you were to compare beef tallow and lard, lard is actually more conditioning on the skin, which is why I choose to use it over the tallow. But the lard outperforms in conditioning on the skin. And castor oil, when you add that to a recipe, it is going to increase the bubbles that you get. But if you add too much in your recipe as far as percentage, then the castor oil will make your bar too mushy and sticky. So there's a fine line there of your usage of castor oil. And I've outgrown my workspace. We finished building this shed about 2 years ago, and I had plenty of space, so I thought, until about, 8 months ago, maybe right at a year ago, I realized that I had already outgrown this space, which is kind of disheartening. I mean, it's good in a way, but bad in a way, because I spent a lot of time and money getting this shed what I thought was exactly what I needed, and it turns out it is still too small. But I'll show you guys this. I don't know if you can see. For those of you that have bought this mask from me, that's actually what's going in the soap. So it's 100% pure Dead Sea Mud. You can see that this one is like that. We're going to add that to the soap. I forgot that I had just ordered some, so it was still packaged up because I was out of it. All right. And I do recycle my packaging. Like when stuff like this comes in bubble wrap, then I just like fold it up and save it. So if you guys place an order online, what you're getting is normally recycled bubble wrap. Because why not? And I'm not trying to do this as like a soap making like teaching video, but I'm just trying to explain to y'all the process. But I have actually had a lot of people ask me if I would teach a soap making class, and maybe one day. Okay, I had a call come in, sorry. So, but anyway, that's why I like selling at farmers markets, is because I get to know all of you guys. Add the lye water to get this show on the road. You can see essential oil. We also measure that. Everything in soap making is measuring. It's important to measure. You can't just, you know, like with baking is similar to baking. You have to be pretty exact. Like with cooking, you can be a little more free with your amounts, but it's important to be precise when you're making soap. The Dead Sea mud or oats, coffee grounds, honey, things like that, there is some room to play. But in general, you really need to be specific and have a scale. Like I've got 3 here. Like here's, you know, like just a digital scale that you can get. And then I've got another one here I'm using. It's just a small digital scale. A lot of times why people think of lye soap, they think of it being harsh. And I think what that does is go back to a long time ago when people made soap. They didn't have scales. So it would be like, you know, a little of this, a touch of that, a dash of this. And so it was not an exact recipe. And so they maybe had like lye heavy soap, which would mean it would be harsh and it would like kind of burn your skin. Anytime you take a shower, even if you just use plain water or using handmade soap, you're disrupting that a little bit, but you just want to minimize that. So using a gentle soap, you're minimizing that. So you're not necessarily moisturizing your skin, you're just not stripping your skin. So that's the best way for me to explain it. And honey, ooh, actually I'm gonna add honey to this soap too, because that just sounds like it will be good. And we have our own honey too, we have bees. So this is our local raw honey. You can see how it is now like kind of thick. I don't know the best way, like a pudding consistency is the best way to describe it. To sit here and watch, but we'll just. And I've got my spearmint essential oil measured out. You can see that. And we're gonna do our salt. So it's getting closer to being ready. It takes a while, it's just a process. Guess anything that's good is worth waiting for, right? I'll definitely have to edit this and fast forward through all this because this is taking a long time. And I probably researched soap for probably a year. I mean, at least 6 months to a year before I actually have it running because this is taking forever. All right, so you can see how it's changed and looks a little different. Let's see. I can show you how it's like more liquidy. It just fell. Sorry. Let's see. Whoops. And I can pretty much tell you it's done. It just needs to kind of be stirred a little bit, and we have soap. I'm going to add the Dead Sea mud. I'm going to add quite a bit, actually. Let's see. Okay, that was probably like 3 tablespoons of Dead Sea mud that we're adding. And then I've mixed up the green mica that I showed you earlier. I've mixed that up into a like sloshy consistency here. I don't know if you can see that. It's liquidy. And all I did was just add oil to that so that it will blend easier when I add it into the soap. I add it in very last because essential oils are very volatile, which means they evaporate quickly. And the molecules are very small, and so they can get just like gone. And then I'm going to add the green to this part. Okay, so that is incorporated pretty good. You can see how that's green. There you go. Incorporate all this Dead Sea mud in this portion. I'm gonna add the salt last because the salt makes it set up like really fast. You can see I'm just eyeballing it. About that much honey. That was probably about a tablespoon or a little more of honey that we're going to add to that. Or spearmint to both. But if you like that fresh spa like scent, then the spearmint essential oil is a great alternative to the peppermint. This is just a really fine sea salt. I'm going to add that in there. Oh, I won't go ahead. I'll do it in both. I'll do less in there and more in here. How it's, oh shit. I think it's me stirring it that's causing that to fall into here. Okay, I say we're gonna go with the mud first. And this part, if you remember, has the Dead Sea mud and the honey. And I'm making a mess, but that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is just do a little of each and just kind of give it like a more, it's not going to be exact lines or anything like that. We're just going to add it in like this. Try and do it about the same in each one. I can actually pour it in. Jesus. This thing doesn't stop falling. Oh my gosh. It's driving me insane. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. I think it's all the banging around that I'm doing that's messing it up. Honestly. Now, all right, so there we go. That is finished, and that's all done. So that's how it's made. And this is the spearmint Dead Sea mud with a little raw honey in there, salt soap. Okay, so now that the soap has been hardened, we're now ready to cut it. So I'm going to show you guys the cut. So we have to unmold it. And here it is. Okay, so now you guys know when you get handcrafted soap, you know the process from beginning till the cut. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey babies.